Assalamualaikum everyone and welcome to another episode of Study Guide. Today we will be discussing the Pakistan Studies 2059 syllabus, and what we will be doing in today's video is that we'll be talking about any updates and we will be revising the syllabus once again, and especially the one according to the Cambridge syllabus and the mark scheme. Let's go. Alright, so as you're aware that there are two papers in your Pakistani syllabus. One is paper 1, which is of history as we call it, and the other is paper 2, which is of geography as we call it in our layman's language. तो जो आपका हिस्ट्री का पेपर 1 है उसको हम कहते हैं हिस्ट्री एंड कल्चर पाकिस्तान, एंड द पेपर हैज़ two sections. One is section A, which is of 25 marks, and the other is section B, which is of 50 marks. The section A is a compulsory section. In this section, you have 4 parts. Part A, B, C, D, and the marking is something along the lines of 3, 5, 7, and 10. So as you can see, this altogether makes up 25. Now this A and B part over here, they are both source based. By source based we mean there will either be a textual source or there will be a picture, and you will be expected to develop your points according to it or give an interpretation. As for these two parts, parts 7 and 10, they are the comprehensive one, as in what you otherwise call the long questions, and these two are going to be testing your analytical abilities, your evaluative abilities, and your overall developmental skills. All these points in this question, all these 4 parts in this question are linked by a common theme, by which we mean that if it is from section 1, then it is going to be from section 1. If it is from section 2, then all these questions are going to be from section 2. This paper is of 1 hour 30 minutes, and it has 50% weightage in the overall grade that you get for Pakistan Studies. Now next up we have section B, which is of 50 marks. Section B has 4 questions. 4 questions. And out of these 4, you have the choice to do any 2 questions. Alright, and these 2 questions have the same pattern. So both of these questions have the same pattern. So the pattern of both of these questions is A, B, C. Question 1 till question 4. Same pattern gets followed till here. And what is that pattern? That the A part is of 4 marks, the B part is of 7 marks, and the C part is of 14 marks. So overall, each question is of 25 marks. And the section B total is of 50 marks because you are supposed to attempt 2 of these questions. The A part, which is of 4 marks, just tests your knowledge, by which we mean that all your facts are covered in this question. The B part tests both your knowledge and understanding, which includes facts plus analysis. And the C part, which is of 14 marks, tests knowledge, understanding, and analytical as well as evaluative abilities. So this one includes facts plus analysis plus evaluation. Now in both of these parts, the one part that you have chances of taking more marks in is usually your section A, since it is linked by a common theme and you can easily score full marks in this section. But for section B, often people miss evaluation or they miss analysis in their long answers. So usually the comprehensive part is more difficult to get marks in. But that depends on the student as well. If you are more good at attempting the longer questions, the essay questions, the comprehensive ones, then you can score higher marks in section B too. So overall, this paper is of 75 marks, and as I mentioned earlier, it has 50% weightage in your Pak Studies grade. So that depends. Whatever marks you take, it is going to play a 50% role in your overall grade of Pakistan Studies. Now let's step on to paper 2. So your paper 2 is the environment of Pakistan, or otherwise what we call it, the geography. And in this paper, you are mostly tested on the basis of your knowledge. There are 5 questions in your paper total, and out of these 5, you have the choice to attempt any 3. Alright, any 3 questions, then each question is of 25 marks, and all those questions are divided into A, B, C, and D parts, and these parts are further subdivided. And remember that in a geography paper, mostly they are just testing your knowledge and your ability to attempt a paper. That is what it assesses. Only a few questions assess your understanding or your analytical skills. Mostly it's your interpretation skills or your skills to extract data and input it into an answer. This paper is also 1 hour 30 minutes and it has the same marks as the previous one, which are 75 marks total. And once again, because they both have the same marks, 75 marks for history and 75 marks for geography, both of them have a 50-50% weightage in your overall Pakistan Studies grade. Now, this is what is new. This is what is something that we all need to understand. There are new assessment objectives. And what are assessment objectives exactly? That is what I mean to cover in this video. So, assessment objectives are basically what the examiner demands from you, what your course or what your syllabus is made for. For instance, your history syllabus has 4 assessment objectives. So what that means is that from your history syllabus, you should be able to do these things as much as the weightage in your paper. Now let me explain this with the example. For example, over here it is written, your assessment objective 1 is recall, select, use and communicate knowledge. 64% of this is being used in your paper 1, which is your history paper. What does this mean? This means that you should be able to remember dates. You should be able to remember the events that have occurred in a certain timeline or a time period. You should be able to select. For example, a question is asking you, what events occurred between 1807 to 1875 in the subcontinent? So first you have to recall the events, then you have to choose according to the question. If they're talking about the British Empire, British history, then you have to select the British relevant questions. Then how are you going to use this in your question, in your answer? You are going to use them, you are going to evaluate them, and then you are going to communicate your knowledge. The best way to communicate your knowledge is by developing your paragraph, by implying that you have understood what the question means. So a lot of this has a lot to do with your paper 1. So 64% weightage of just this stuff in your paper 1 and 50% of this in your paper 2, which is your geography paper. And overall, 50% qualification in your overall grade, which means that the highest percentage of communication and recalling, like the basic common sense that you call, is 57% in your overall grade. So even if a person is just using his common sense and just remembering stuff that they have learned in class or through our videos, that person can at least score 57% of a grade. Then you have your assessment objective 2, which is to demonstrate an understanding of the past through explanation, interpretation, analysis, and evaluation. This is 0% weightage in your geography syllabus because geography is based on current events. However, 26% of this is weighing in your history paper because this is the past experiences and events and you have to analyze them, evaluate them according to the future. So overall 13% of qualification in your overall grade. Then apply knowledge and understanding of physical and human environments and issues through explanation, analysis and evaluation. Once again, your assessment objective 3 is linked to your paper 2 mainly because the paper 1 is not linked to environment. It is mostly only linked to events. While your paper 2 discusses this stuff. Therefore, 15% weightage in your overall grade. Then, apply skills and interpret a variety of environmental, historical resources and sources. 10% of this is in your paper 1, which is usually your section A that requires this in your paper 1. As for paper 2, a lot of this is getting used because you have tables, you have graphs, you have maps that you have to interpret. So overall, both of these papers and their weightages make up 100%, and overall, a 15% is of this AO4 in your qualification. Last but not the least, let me quickly tell you about the syllabus. It is the same syllabus as the past year, as the previous year, which is section 1, section 2, and section 3 in history. This is your paper 1 syllabus. So you have 3 sections. Same, this one is the cultural and historical background. This includes the the prominent leaders, like the topic of Sayyid Ahmed Barelvi and Haji Shiratullah, etc. And this includes the British coming to India, the Baj in India, and the languages chapter. These are included in that. The emergence of Pakistan. This includes the freedom movement, every freedom movement, freedom from British, freedom from India, all of that. And nationhood is once the beginning or the early years of Pakistan. So these are the same 3 sections that you have been doing over the past few years. No change in the syllabus itself. Only the major change is in the assessment objectives. As for the next one, Environment of Pakistan, once again, Geography Paper 2, no change in syllabus. What they've done is that they've simply given you bigger terms and added small subchapters like natural resources. You have water, you have forests, you have fishing. The same chapters but under bigger headings. That's all that they have changed in their syllabus. Land of Pakistan includes climate and topography both. So overall, the same 12 chapters for geography and the same 3 sections for history. So you guys, this was the Pakistan Studies 2024 syllabus. I recently heard that there were some updates, so I went ahead and checked. No updates to the syllabus. No changes, nothing new. The only change or the only thing that you need to know about were the assessment objectives, and I think it is a very good thing that they have introduced the assessment objectives, since that helps a child to see what exactly should they focus upon, what is the skill set that they need to build in order to score the best grade in these subjects. I hope this video helped you, and we're trying our best to get back on track with these videos as well. If you have any requests, make sure you comment down below. Best of luck for your future.